Throughout the history of the United States, First Ladies have not only accompanied their presidential husbands on the political stage, but have also become true style icons, influencing the fashion and culture of their time. From Jacqueline Kennedy's elegance to Michelle Obama's bold fashion choices, their looks have inspired millions of women around the world. Today, we invite you to dive into the fascinating history of the style of America's First Ladies. Discover how they used fashion to convey important messages, and see how their clothing choices reflected the social and cultural trends of their eras. Eleanor Roosevelt, modesty and grace. Let's begin our journey with Eleanor Roosevelt, First Lady from 1933 to 1945. While she is better known for her active public service and contributions to human rights, her sense of style deserves attention. Eleanor preferred elegant yet modest outfits that reflected her serious approach to the role of First Lady. She often chose simple dresses accented with striking accessories, impressive jewelry, and unique hats. Her style combined simplicity and sophistication, mirroring the spirit of her time and her personal values. It's noteworthy that Eleanor didn't seek the spotlight for her fashion, but her restraint and refinement made her a style icon for many women of that era. Her looks emphasized the importance of substance over superficiality, particularly relevant during the Great Depression and World War II. Jacqueline Kennedy, the epitome of sophistication. Moving on to Jacqueline Kennedy, who became a symbol of elegance and refinement in the 1960s. Young, educated, and sophisticated, Jackie brought European charm and impeccable taste to the White House. Her wardrobe was meticulously curated, featuring Chanel tweed suits, elegant Givenchy dresses, and her signature accessories, oversized sunglasses, pillbox hats, and long white gloves. Despite criticism for favoring French fashion houses during the 1960 presidential campaign, Jacqueline managed to establish a unique style that continues to inspire designers today. After entering the White House, she temporarily shifted to American designers, but later returned to her beloved Chanel and Givenchy. Her influence on fashion was so profound that the term Jackie style became widely recognized. After President Kennedy's assassination, her pink suit by Chez Ninon became a symbol of tragedy and one of the most iconic outfits in fashion history. This look still fascinates historians and fashion experts. Lady Bird Johnson, a symbol of the 1960s. Lady Bird Johnson, wife of President Lyndon B. Johnson, became the next First Lady. Following Jacqueline Kennedy was no easy task, but Lady Bird managed to create her own style. In the latter half of the 1960s, she preferred pastel tones, classic hairstyles, and her signature accessory, pearls. Her looks reflected the optimism and romance of the time, making her a symbol of elegance and femininity. Lady Bird was also actively involved in ecological initiatives, and her style often reflected her closeness to nature and simplicity. Betty Ford, courage and freedom in the 1970s. Betty Ford, First Lady from 1974 to 1977, was known not only for her civic activism, but also for her bold approach to fashion. Her style embodied the spirit of the 1970s, an era of change and self-expression. Betty often chose wide-legged pants, elegant blazers with accents, cat-eye sunglasses, silk scarves, and chunky gold jewelry. She wasn't afraid to embrace bright colors and experiment with accessories, highlighting her individuality and independence. Betty Ford was also famous for her openness about personal struggles, such as battling addiction, which added depth to her public image and influenced her fashion choices. Nancy Reagan, Hollywood glamour in the White House. Nancy Reagan, a former actress and the First Lady from 1981 to 1989, brought Hollywood glamour to the White House. She was a strong supporter of American designers like Oscar de la Renta, Bill Blass, and Carolina Herrera. Nancy favored bright colors, especially red and white, which helped her stand out at official events. Her style reflected the aesthetics of the 1980s, marked by a love for luxury and dramatic outfits. Thanks to Nancy, elegant evening gowns and meticulously chosen accessories came back into vogue. Her looks were often compared to royalty, and she used fashion as a tool to strengthen diplomatic relations. Hillary Clinton, practicality and power. Hillary Clinton, First Lady from 1993 to 2001, chose a practical and functional style. Pantsuits became her trademark, reflecting her role not only as a presidential spouse, but also as an independent politician. Her clothing choices emphasized professionalism, confidence, and determination. She wasn't afraid to experiment with colors and textures, but always stayed true to her style, which became a symbol of the modern career woman. Hillary was also known for frequently changing her hairstyle, sparking discussions, and highlighting her adaptability. Michelle Obama, modernity and diversity. Michelle Obama, First Lady from 2009 to 2017, brought a fresh perspective to fashion in the White House. She wasn't afraid to wear bold silhouettes and vibrant colors, supporting young and lesser-known designers. Michelle elevated designers like Jason Wu and Narciso Rodriguez to global fame and combined luxury brands with affordable labels like J.Crew and H&M. Her style reflected a modern, confident woman who values both high fashion and everyday comfort. Michelle used fashion as a platform to deliver important social messages. For example, during official visits, she often wore outfits from designers of the countries she visited, demonstrating respect and openness to different cultures. Melania Trump, European elegance. Melania Trump, a former model from Slovenia and First Lady from 2017 to 2021, chose an elegant and refined style reflecting her European background. She favored designer pieces from Dolce & Gabbana, Chanel, Gucci, and other European fashion houses, disregarding the tradition of wearing American. Her looks were often glamorous and impactful, reminiscent of magazine editorials. Melania also used fashion to send messages. The most striking example was her Zara jacket with the phrase, "I really don't care, do you?" worn during a Texas visit amid political controversy, sparking widespread public reaction and interpretation. Fashion and politics. A discussion. It's fascinating to see how fashion and politics intertwine in the context of First Ladies. In a country where every gesture and appearance of public figures is meticulously planned, fashion becomes a powerful communication tool. Image advisors work on every detail, from hairstyles to outfit colors, to craft a specific image and convey intended messages. First Ladies' fashion choices often helped shape the image of the president and his administration. Fashion became an integral part of political strategy, influencing public opinion and international relations. Ethical issues in the fashion industry. Discussions about whether designers should dress First Ladies if they don't share their political views raise questions about creative freedom and ethics in the fashion industry. In Melania Trump's case, many American designers refused to work with her for ideological reasons. However, this didn't stop her from creating striking looks with European brands. This issue touches on deeper topics about fashion's role in politics and society. Should designers remain neutral, or are they entitled to express their stance through refusal to collaborate? Isn't democracy about embracing diverse opinions and freedom of choice? The style of America's First Ladies is not just a matter of clothing, but a reflection of social, cultural, and political trends of their times. Each of them used fashion as a tool to express their values, influence public opinion, and inspire millions of women worldwide. Their looks are an integral part of fashion history and continue to impact modern trends. Future First Ladies will undoubtedly continue this tradition, leaving their unique mark on the history of style and culture in the United States. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss more fascinating content about fashion and history. See you next time!